It's our, all the way from LA, and I'm in Florida. Kevin at a trade show, the Florida Association of Insurance Agents trade show, which is a big show, so that's exciting.
Well, what part of Florida is that?
It's actually in Orlando. So,
oh
yeah,
wow, so
yeah, yeah. It's kind of a bittersweet time here. Yeah, yeah. Kind of there's a lot going on, and everybody's been affected by the tragedy, of course. So, um, yeah, there's a big turnout at the show, so it should be a pretty busy few days.
Okay, well, just be careful out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will. I definitely will. Yeah. And Kevin, I know we have an interesting goal today. You know, we've done this topic in the past, but I know you have some new twists to add today and some new information to share with everybody.
Sure. Sherry, Ed Group, and everybody's here. Our goal today is about active engagement. If you look at the world we're living in today, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of uncertainty. That uncertainty is causing us all kind of stress, all kind of things that is difficult for us to handle today. So what I want to do is get people back to an area and a time where active engagement was the way we looked at life, look at the world. A Gallup poll was done a couple of years ago that said only 31% of people went to work were engaged in work. 31%. 51% was not engaged at all, and 18% were actively disengaged. That means they went so far as wanted to destroy the company. So that's 2/3 of the company, 2/3 people who work in the workforce either not engaged at all or actively disengaged. 31% was engaged. What I want to do today is talk to you about active engagement, get back involved to understand what it really means when you go to work every day and what it should be like for you. If it's not that way for you, you should figure out a way to make it that way for you. Because right now, time is short. What we're doing out there is really, really unique and really, really special. So when we talk about that goal, when we talk about companies today, right, we talk about how they look, how they evolve. We're looking at most companies, what makes a difference is you have an engaged workforce. When you have an engaged workforce, everybody knows the goals, everybody knows what's important, everybody knows what matters in the corporation. An engaged workforce is the way you should be all the time. So this is the problem. Once you leave, once you've been working there for a couple of years, things start settling down. Things start getting comfortable. And then you go on autopilot. People go on autopilot way too fast. And what happens, they go on autopilot, I mean, they stop growing, they stop using their creativity, they stop using their imagination, and just follow directions. They follow directions and follow directions and follow directions. And then what happens is that companies will start looking and say, guess what we're going to do? We're going to change the way things are being done. We want things to be more efficient. As things become more and more efficient, you start seeing things like automation, outsourcing, and you start seeing layoffs. All because of that. It starts there, the autopilot. Then you go to denial phase. People don't see the writing on the wall. And when they don't see the writing on the wall, that's when it starts becoming a problem. No, that's when it is a severe problem, and that's when this happens. It's over. Either the company is gone or the people are gone. The perfect example of that is Blockbuster Videos. Blockbuster Videos is an amazing company. They had an engaged workforce. I remember I used to go to Blockbuster Videos, right? They knew who I was. They knew what I liked. They would point out the movies I haven't seen yet. And then they went into autopilot mode. They started growing. They started expanding. The people didn't know who I was anymore. They didn't care who I was. And then they went to the denial phase. The denial phase was, guess what? You're late fees. You have to rewind your tape. All these things started becoming a hassle for me to the point where then Netflix pops up. And instantly, Netflix made that company obsolete. All because they stopped looking at the people. They started worrying about that bottom line and stopped worrying about the people. The same thing with Tower Records. Tower Records store, they have a huge Tower Records on Sunset Boulevard where every star, every famous person used to go there all the time. Tower Records made one mistake. They expanded, they became efficient, got rid of the people, and then all of a sudden they made one gamble. They believed there's no way in the world that people will listen to music on this one little thing. So they said, we're going to put all our time and energy into albums, long playing albums. We have 20 or 30 songs. You had to pay $12.99 for that. And Apple came in and said, guess what? You want one song. You don't want 10 different songs for one person. You want one song, we'll charge you 99 cents. Next thing you know, Tower Records, Warehouse, all those places went out of business. Same thing with Kodak. Kodak says, all we do is make film. We don't do anything else. They invented the digital camera. They invented digital camera years and years ago, and they said, that's not us. So they took the eye off the ball. They went to the denial stage. So basically what you're talking about here is 2/3 of your employee, when you're in that denial phase, is active. You're active, disengaged. When you're autopilot, you're disengaged. It doesn't matter. And what happens when you're in those stages, when you're in that efficiency stage, when that stage where people want you to go, they start objectifying you. You become an object. You're no longer a human being. You are an object. And when you're an object, you become disengaged. You become distant from the organization as a whole. All of a sudden, you get blamed for things you didn't do. People judge you and they criticize. Those are 3 things that start happening. And when they start happening, you put a mask on. You hide yourself. See, the reason why we become disengaged, I don't care if disengaged in terms of life, in terms of office, in terms of school, whatever you're involved in, you become disengaged because you protect yourself. You protect yourself from being hurt. You protect yourself from being unwanted, unworthy. You protect yourself from things like shame, embarrassment, guilt. Those things we protect ourselves from. We don't protect ourselves from, we're not afraid of failure. We're afraid of shame. Shame is one of the hardest things to overcome because shame doesn't say you did something wrong. Well, shame says you are wrong. You are not any good. And we live that way. And all because we objectify people. The best experiment you can do when you go home, if you have a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend, is the difference between calling them by their name versus calling them by that guy or that girl or those people. Whenever you say anything like that, you're now objectifying them, and they are now human. They are an object. They are habit. They are a tool for you to use. You've got to use people's name. The more name time you call them by their name, the more humanity they have. And I will never say bad things about my wife, Ethel. But I will say bad things about my wife. My wife will get on my nerves, but she won't get on my nerves. You can say about your kids, about your friends. Your friends are a pain in the butt. But that one friend, when you start naming by it, they're not pains in the butt. We objectify people. When we make things efficient, we lose track of what's reality. And what's reality is the thing that matters more than anything else is people matter. We lose track that people matter. At the end of the day, there's nothing more important than the people that come together every day. When you come together every day, we can collaborate, we get things done, we're more efficient. You know, cost goes down when we work together. When we don't work together, costs go up. The problem we have is that people who put these organizations together look at people today as a liability. Your cost, your expense to the bottom line. You're not a value, you're not an asset, you're expense. And you try to figure out ways to carve out that part of it. You know, you gotta act like, you gotta understand that the people are what matters. Because when you don't do that, all of a sudden, you don't feel your talents are utilized at all. And then you drop out. You become disengaged, you see yourself just pulling away. And you realize that you've pulled away. And all of a sudden, you don't care anymore because guess what? They don't care about you. You have talents. You're an individual. You're special. You're unique. But you're being wasted. And then what happens? They establish rules. Rules are established because people are disengaged. People don't care. When I started this company 15 years ago, the whole idea was to have people actively engaged all the time so you don't have rules. I hate rules. I never liked rules. I like the fact that you come in, you do your job, you know what you're doing. Guess what? Everything works out well. But when you're not engaged in an operation, guess what happens? Well, you're late. You took too long for lunch. You have to worry about all the stuff that's really not important at the end of the day. Okay? You create rules because rules are created for people who really don't understand the importance of people matter. Now, what we're going to talk about, is that what do we do about it? How do we change? There's a couple of things we have to do to get an engaged workforce. Engaged workforce is what we're talking about. We're talking about people who want to be together and work together. The key word right now, valued. If you are valued, you will be in an engaged workforce. If you feel valued, it matters. If you don't feel valued, it's over. And anytime you work, no matter what you do, you have to feel valued. There's nothing more important as a humanity than to feel valued, to feel important. And on top of those things are these very important things. You have to be significant. You have to matter and be significant. Everybody here is unique. When we put everybody in the box and say, from now on, everybody's going to do this, we create rules because everybody's unique. Some people work better in the afternoon than work better in the morning. But if you know your job, it doesn't matter. As long as we treat you as you're significant, that you matter, that you are an individual, that's important. And you're connected. We want to be connected. When we disconnect ourselves, the reason why we disconnect ourselves is to protect ourselves. And we protect ourselves and put masks on. And we want to protect ourselves, again, from shame and guilt and humiliation. What happens? We walk away. And some people walk away, and they really walk away. They start drinking. They start using drugs. They start abusing themselves. They overeat. All those things happen because they don't feel part of something. They're not connected. You got to contribute. We want to contribute. We want to work together. You know, Sherry's in Orlando right now, and she feels the pain of what happened there, and she wants to contribute. She wants to go out there and help. Everybody wants to help. It's our natural instinct to want to do that, and we want to grow. As human beings, we got to grow. Disengagement occurs because these things are not being met. You know, it's my job, it's management's job to make sure you're valued, that you're significant, that you matter out there. If you don't matter, you get disconnected. You start to be feeling that you're not part of something, and then all of a sudden you're disengaged from everything. And once you're disengaged from everything, it creates the problem. Now, what's the answer to this thing? How do you stay engaged? How do you stay actively engaged? One simple word: be yourself. It's all about you. It's all about who you are as a person. And it starts with character. It starts with who you are. When you talk about character, you're talking about these things. There's a difference between character and personality. You're born with personality. Some people have great personality, some people have lousy personality. But character is things you learn over a period of time. And it's so important because if you have a strong character, you will always overcome any situation. You can be in a situation where you're not engaged, where you don't care, but your character will allow you to move forward. Your character will allow you to do things that you won't be able to do. Our society focuses on personality way too much. Look at Donald Trump right now. He's all personality. When people like him, they like the personality. As you get to know him and understand his true character, you really find out things you really don't like. But you can't hide that. You can't hide who you are. You can put masks on. A personality opens the door for everybody here, but the character makes you stay in the room. The character is more important than anything else. And when you have a good, solid character, what you're looking for is a win-win opportunity. A win-win opportunity, you won't lose at all, and you always be engaged. You can look at certain situations as a win-win. It's the hardest thing to do, look at things as a win-win, because of one thing, our ego. Our ego won't allow us to do a win-win. Our ego will allow us to do is to have a win-lose. We got to win no matter what, and somebody has to lose. We all know perfectionists. We all know people out there who are perfectionists, and they're right about everything. They're not wrong about nothing. And so they have to win, and you have to lose. A lose-win situation is the people who are disengaged. A disengaged person will lose all the time and allow everybody else to win. If you're working with somebody who is disengaged, they will do exactly what you say, but they go, okay, I'll do it for you. They win, the other person loses. A person who loses, a person who wins all the time is a person like you go to Vegas, you win, forget everybody else. You don't care, you don't win. But a lose person who lose, they're the victims. There are victims out there, people out there who shut themselves off totally, and they're losing. You want to go for a win-win. And a way to get to a win-win, you have to have two things. You have to have empathy and compassion. You have to have confidence. The confidence allows you to say, guess what? I understand your position. I understand what you're going through. I understand your needs. But guess what? We can't do it. No deal. You know, when you have a company, you have to sit there and you make decisions. And all of you are in a position that have to make decisions. The difference between a person who is an efficient person who just do things other than, if you look at it from a people point of view, that people make decisions and they solve problems. You can't outsource that. That's what you do. In order to solve problems, you have to look at somebody and say, guess what? I would love to be able to help you today, but I can't. That means it's no deal. I'm not going to win, You're not going to win, but we're not going to lose. There's no deal today. They'll come back tomorrow. As underwriters, as people in the insurance industry, there's people who want all the kind of things. You're juggling balls all the time. Once in a while, you got to, as long as you look at that person and say, how can I help you? What are your needs are? And you go, okay, I understand what your needs are. I get it. But it can't fit with what I'm doing right now. So there's no deal. I can't do it. You don't say no deal, but in your side, I can't help you today. Tomorrow I'll be able to help you. It's a win-win, and it goes back to one thing, character. If you have a strong character, a strong sense of will, the value structure that makes you who you are, and you know your values, and you know those things are important to you, you will always go back to those things. Whenever you have to make a decision, it's based on your values, and these are your values. If you're honesty, you have integrity, you have self-control, respect, it always goes back to that. And even if you are in a position where you're disengaged, because you have a strong character, you're looking at a tree, and the foundation is the character. The bottom rung, what keeps everything going, is that character. And as you grow and develop, comes the next thing, credibility. You have to be credible. You know, if that's the next part. That's the tree trunk itself. You know, you have the foundation laid, you have strong character. Now you have that credibility. Credibility comes from your past. What you have done in your past that shows credibility. The way you have credibility, you need, yes, three things. You have that trust, capability, and discipline. Trust is the most important part. That's more the foundation. That's probably the most important part of character. If people believe in you, people understand that you are trustworthy, you can accomplish a lot. You can do a lot. With trust comes collaboration, it comes communication. It makes life so much easier for everybody just because of the trust. The trust is there, and trust is critical. Capability. Capability is execution. Can you execute? Do you have the knowledge, the experience? Do you have the talent to get things done? You know, there's a lot. I'm watching, you know, the Cleveland Cavs play. They don't have, to me, they don't have the talent to beat Golden State. The talent is not there. Golden State is a more talented team. Okay, so they don't have the talent. They're capable of playing a great game. They're not capable of being champions. You know, capability is being able, but it's capable. They're capable and they're trusted. They're there. People hope that they win. People believe they can win because we trust them and they're capable. And guess what? They're also disciplined. They're disciplined. Their discipline is, you know, if you're trustworthy, capable, if all of a sudden you're LeBron James and you show up to the game an hour late, the discipline is not there. In fact, the main difference between most people who are really trustworthy and capable and very talented have discipline. They lack the discipline to get someplace on time and to be responsible, to get things done. The biggest problem out there with something like trust and capability is that self-confidence. You don't believe in yourself. You know, it's hard to trust somebody if you don't trust yourself. You got to trust yourself. It's hard to be capable if you don't believe you're capable. It's hard to believe you can be disciplined if you don't believe it. The best way to do that is take small goals. Take small steps. Say, today I'm going to do X. And then guess what happens? You build credibility. You build trust. If you tell your clients that you're going to do this for you and you do it, all of a sudden you're building credibility, you're building trust, you're building the discipline. Discipline, without the discipline, you lack credibility. Without capability, you lack credibility. Without trust. Those three things together are critical to be credible. You have to have those three things together. Next one is willingness. The most important thing and hardest thing is willing. I started playing golf a couple of years ago. I'm highly motivated to play golf, but I'm not willing to put in the time and energy it takes. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy to play golf. It really does. Are we willing to do what's necessary? What is your goals? What do you want out of life? And what's important to you? Is family important to you? Are friends important to you? Is work important to you? Is money important to you? What it is that wakes you up in the morning and says, I want to go to work? It's respectability. Is it you want that? You want to matter in the world. Whatever it is, you have to understand this is important to you. And when it's important to you, you have to understand that you're willing to do what's necessary to do it. Do you have the passion to do what has to be done for you to get to that next level, to do what you want to do? Because most people don't. It takes effort. It takes work. And do you want to put the effort and work and time into it to do these things? most people don't want to do that because it is effort, it is work. But you have to do it. See, when we're talking about these three things, you're talking about things like being capable. You're talking about credibility. These are the things that stop you from being actively engaged all the time. All the time you have to actively be engaged. I don't care if you're at work. I don't care if you're at home. I don't care if you're family or friends. It's all the same thing. If you're actively engaged, you will be successful. We're entering a time when the world has shrunk, okay? And it's getting smaller. You're competing with people all over the world. When I grew up, I competed with people who were down the street from me, my neighbors. If I got in front of them, I got the job. You're competing with people all over. And then one thing you have that nobody can do is take away from you is that if you're a problem solver, you're pretty good. You're valued. People are valued. You have to understand, as people, you're very, very valuable. If you ever have the willingness, if you have the things we're talking about, you have to learn to celebrate. Celebration is the most important. Because when you celebrate, you're acknowledging that, guess what? You're engaged. You're engaged. You have to celebrate. One thing about the game the other day, when LeBron James missed some free throws, they don't say, I can't believe it. What? I can't believe you missed those. They slap each other 5 and say, guess what? Next time. They acknowledge the fact that he's valued. He acknowledges the fact that he's valued. And when it comes to value, you have to show gratitude. You have to show appreciation. You have to say thanks. Those are things that are important. If you do that, you will always be engaged. You know, you got to listen. You have to be up. You have to be, one of the things about engagement we talk about is, there's something called false flattery. Okay? And, the number one thing that, whenever I go to these seminars and things, you have to look at somebody and say, guess what, boy, you lost weight. You're looking good. You lost weight. And all of a sudden, now, they know they haven't lost weight. They know you're lying to them. But guess what? That's the connection you have to have, And sometimes, they look better, but exaggerate a little bit. You kind of lost weight. But we all want to hear that we lost weight. Well, then you are. When you hear that you look good, you lost weight. That's the engagement part. That's something you have to be able to do in order to survive. We live in a world now that things will be outsourced and automated. One thing that will never be outsourced and automated is your ability to work with people, get things done, and solve problems. So, with that said, thank you very much. I enjoyed giving you a little bit of insight. Engagement is the key. You got to be engaged and stay engaged. Thank you very much. All right, come on, you can clap.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here today. And Kevin, I would love it if somebody said, hey, Sherry, you lost weight. I think that would be great. I would take that compliment, no problem. And if anybody joining us today would like a copy of today's presentation, please send an email to me at sbranson@kdins.com, and I'm happy to send you a copy of the presentation. And I can also send you a link where you can listen to the presentation again. And please join us in July, on July 21st, as we do a very special webinar, Meet the Underwriters, and they're going to answer all of your D&O questions. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much. And thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.